everyone, my name is Dana, and this is episode 31 of the Ask a Question Show, the show in which you ask a question about any type of narcissistic or otherwise abusive or toxic relationship or situation, and I, along with the rest of the community here, will do our very best to help answer it. Our goal is to give you the feedback and the support that you need so that you can move forward in getting the clarity, the closure, and the healing that you so deserve. And so today's question comes from Mariposa. Mariposa asks, Dear Dana, do most narcissists lead a double life? What is your experience with this? How does a person cope with the knowledge that the person they loved knowingly practiced such deep deception throughout their relationship? I was married for 23 years to an emotional manipulator, and I think the pain of betrayal is the most shocking and painful part in order to get past. Thanks for all your work. Okay, so thank you so much for your question, and I'm glad that my work is helping so far. It's in large part due to everybody else that makes up this community. There's tons of awesome feedback and advice from people that have been there, done that, and that's huge. So thank you, just out there, everybody that's a part of the community. It's really appreciated. I love the fact that we're able to give each other feedback as far as kind of what worked and what didn't work and why and strategies and all of that. That's just really cool. So, okay, to answer your question, do most narcissists lead a double life? It's been my experience that yes, they do to some extent. To some extent, not all of them, cheat necessarily or but there's definitely, I think the two main ways that they have a double life has to do around cheating or around finances of some kind. So some sort of like stealing, embezzling, misuse of funds, draining accounts. There tends to be squirrely behavior on at least one of those ends. If they were to live on the level life, then they wouldn't be manipulative. They would just be living an on the level life. So they manipulate in order to get what they want. And then because they have that attitude of entitlement, they really do believe that they should be able to just get whatever they want and not that other people shouldn't have a problem with it. And so of course that's when it becomes a problem, because normal people don't interact with each other that way, right? Like we're on the level, we don't go out to, we are aware that our actions hurt other people. These people, they might be aware of that. They just don't care, which makes it so incredibly painful that they just do whatever they want to do with whoever they want to do it as much as they want, whenever they want. And they just kind of expect to not ever have consequences, or they don't, they just expect us to just deal with it. And, like I said, you've had a hard time coping with this. And, I think in large part, it helps to kind of realize that having a hard time coping with it is totally normal. It's normal to have a hard time coping with the very abnormal situation. And that's really what you're in. That's what all of us were in if we've dated somebody that's highly manipulative. So, I guess hoping that kind of gives you some peace of mind, knowing that it takes time to cope with this. You were with this person for 23 years. That's a really long time to be deeply manipulated. And my guess is you're probably going to have waves of realization as you start healing, and you're going to have waves of different feelings about those different realizations. And that it's hard, and it's kind of just this ever evolving process. Like I said, you're going to have a lot of different realizations where you're just like, I bet that didn't happen like that. In fact, I bet it happened like this. And you're going to start kind of connecting more of the dots now that you're really seeing who this person really is. And so to help cope with that, I think, for me personally, I found a ton of benefit in support groups hearing from other people that had been there, done that. I went into therapy after Jack, and I had a very well-intentioned therapist. She was really nice. It did help to talk to her, not as so much as a therapist. I don't really think I got any benefit out of the therapy at all, other than it was really nice to know that I was paying somebody and that I could just tell them anything, because I felt so crazy and misunderstood by friends and family. I didn't know who to trust. And like I said, even though we didn't have this like huge rapport, I didn't really get any therapeutic benefit. Just talking to somebody really does help. I got a ton more benefit and traction, I think, not even traction, like supercharged benefit from support groups. Again, you don't have to feel like people don't believe you in support groups, because we've all experienced like a whole wide range of craziness from these people. And so and plus support groups really are helpful with, bouncing those different realizations, like I said, that you're probably going to have off of, and being like, you know what, I feel like I'm back to square one today. I am so full of rage, I can't even see straight, or I'm so hurt, I've cried all day, I can't get out of bed, or why me, or why did this happen, or who the hell was I married to, or just kind of this roller coaster of feelings that you're probably going to have, to be able to have other people to help kind of weather that storm. And even if you do have a really great therapist, and a good one, man, they're worth their weight in gold. They really, really are. But even still, even a good therapist, you're probably only going to be seeing them, 1 hour a week, if that. And so there's, 167 other hours in a week that it's helpful to kind of, again, get that emotional support when you do need it. So that's what I would recommend. Again, I will link down to my support group, but there's tons of them out there. I highly recommend, find a couple, and you can Google different like narcissist support groups. You can Google, there's other groups on Facebook, these kinds of things, to find different support groups, join a few, and then kind of see what works best for you. Where do you click with, where do you fit in the best, and where do you feel the most comfortable, and then just kind of go from there. That's what I would recommend. And yeah, so I'm really sorry that you went through this. I know how awful it is. I can only imagine, being in something like this for 23 years. But I also want you to know that you are not alone. You really are not alone in this. There's lots of people that are in your exact same situation, that have been married to people that are emotional manipulators like this for decades. And because these manipulative people are really good at what they do, and especially if you're the kind of person that's probably a normal, decent, kind human being, we tend to operate with the mindset that other people are just like us. And and so any bad behavior that we're experiencing from a partner, we kind of think, well, surely they would want to change this or work on this, because I would want to change and work on that, right? And that's a very naive and destructive way to view other people. And I'm not blaming you. I struggled with this my whole life too, but I think it helps to bring it to our awareness. And a lot of it is just awareness, and a lot of us didn't even realize that people like this walked the planet, or if they really did, they're definitely not to the extent that they are out there, and that we would be able to spot problematic people sooner than we did. And so there's, like I said, there's just a lot of elements of crazy making to sorting all of this out. But again, finding people that have been there, done that, examining to kind of, where are your boundaries and standards, and kind of what stuff did you overlook? If he was emotionally manipulative for 23 years, kind of what was the dynamic at play there, and then why? And I think too, if you can kind of hook on to the idea of squeezing out all of the lessons from this, that'll help. Helped for me, but to help me regain my power and control over the situation. So that way I wasn't just like victimized. It was sort of like I was victimized, but there were a ton of lessons in this that I can like squeeze out and then use for my benefit. And so, for me, I had made the decision early on, I was not going to let this destroy my life. And so I was going to, not only that, but then I was going to take this and I was going to just run with it, and I was going to make this one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And that, when I first came to that realization, I didn't know how that was going to happen, but I knew that that's what needed to happen in order for me to move forward with this and not become like bitter and jaded or distrustful of people forever. And so just kind of making that declaration of, this is not going to ruin my life. I'm not going to give this event or this person the power to do that. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to squeeze out all the lessons, and I'm going to make this one of the best things that's ever happened to me, come hell or high water. And there are, I guarantee you, a lot in this that you can use in order to empower yourself and to empower other people. And I think you'll find the more that you start doing that, you know, the more power and control you will regain, and you know, and I think that'll help you kind of move forward in healing. So that's what I got for you. I'll be curious to see what everybody else has to say in the comments down below. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas, insights, you need some support, you just want to say hi, contact info down below. And as always, lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward, and you can heal with this. You can. So take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.